All right, so we're going to talk about adult strength standards. This is inspired by questions I get kind of during the week of like, what's a good weight, what's not a good weight, as far as what somebody's able to do, because of whatever they're looking at on social media can make you believe everybody bench presses. Everybody has people at every gym that bench presses 400 or 500, even 600 pounds, and they squat, everybody squats 600. Like, that's the point of me making this video, is to use my 15 plus years of experience working at a commercial gym, working at a large rec center, having my own gym, training people day in and day out, what I've seen at powerlifting competitions, Olympic lifting competition, whether it be CrossFit competitions, what's impressive and what's not, and to then titrate that down to be, all right, say if you're not a person who's trying to increase their Wilks or DOT score for powerlifting, or you're not trying to up your total for Olympic weightlifting, and you're not, or if you're just not trying to compete in anything, I'm a dude or I'm a woman who goes to a gym 4 or 5 days a week, I want to get stronger. What's some metrics that could be like, this is good, this is great, this is excellent? So I made what is that? So I guess 7 exercises, and good, great, excellent as far as it. So I'm going to start with women. For bench, what I believe is good actually starts with just standard push-ups. If you can do 10 standard push-ups with excellent mechanics, excellent form, I think that starts as good. And what I mean by excellent form is that your elbow will bend more than 90 degrees. And bonus points, because women have larger chests than men. If they can do it from a deficit so that they can get even less elbow bend, so say if you can knock it down to 45-degree angle, if you can repeat that 10 times, that already starts as good. Based on everything I've seen over the last 15 years, somebody can crack out great push-ups. That's like, it stands out. I'm just using an arbitrary number of 10 because it's more than 5, but it's not something that's asking too much, like 20. Then what I consider is great. What I consider great is less common, like something that you're like, oh, it'll turn your head if you're in any of the gym settings I just mentioned, is just a 135-pound bench. Once I see a woman be able to bench 135 pounds, I know that she's been doing some sort of training. It is very rare for someone completely untrained, a woman that's completely untrained, to be able to sit down and bench 135. More like it not, she's been doing something. And then my next marker is a body weight bench press. So for somebody that may have already been 135, for somebody that may be 165, maybe 175. But once I see a body weight bench, greater than a body weight bench press, so say if you're 165, you bench 170, I already consider that like, that's excellent. You're not gonna see that regularly. Now, there's women out there that can bench a lot. There's, I believe her name is Jen Thompson. She's a mother of like a 20-year-old. She can bench 315. So if you're like, oh, I've seen this on Instagram, like, yeah, it's not normal. That's the idea. That's why it's your algorithm. You click it and you see more and more people there that's not normal. But from what I see in Cleveland, Ohio, across more than 15 years, 10 standard push-ups, marks it as good. You can bench 135 for 1 rep. It's interesting because I know that more like than not, you're not untrained. And then the next thing is greater than a body weight bench press. I know that person's doing some sort of training, so I consider that excellent. Next thing is hang/power clean. Why I have hang/power clean is because some people are better at hang clean than they are a power clean because of the confusion of coming off the ground. Sometimes they just feel like they get lost coming off the ground. 95 pounds for reps. Because of the mechanics involved and the coordination involved, once somebody can do that pretty cleanly, catching with the bent knees and catching with elbows high, I'm like, okay, that's good. Same as bench. Want to see 135, more like than not, that would occur in a full clean. So sitting down in a squat, I'm like, wow, that's great that you can clean 135. That's where you start breaking off at a pack of like women that are cleaning and stuff like that. And then the same rules apply to bench press as body weight clean. Once you can clean more than your body weight, I consider that really impressive. That's excellent. Like, It's to me, it's like, wow. Because a lot of things have to go right. You have to displace yourself from the earth while holding a bar, because more likely than not, you jumped, you caught it in a fixed position with your elbows up. You're more likely than not, your torso didn't collapse coming down. You more likely than not had to take it into a full squat and you stood up. So that means you have adequate upper back strength and leg strength to be able to do that. It's excellent. More than a body weight clean. After that, the next one is a back squat. In my opinion, just me being Justin, I don't really open my eyes much till once someone can back squat 185. A woman, obviously. We were talking about women. Once they back squat 185, I'm like, okay, we got something going there, all right? After that, it's 200 pounds for reps, because more likely than not, it's over the woman's body weight and we're getting some motion there. And then once it gets to 250 pounds or 1.75 pounds body weight, 1.75 times body weight, that's what I'm like, wow, that's really impressive. Because more likely than not, that woman weighs less than 250 pounds if you're going absolute, and it's impressive. Or if they're smaller than that and it's just 1.75 times, again, that is not by mistake. That is someone who's training regularly and doing a lot of things right, and they've acquired a lot of lean mass to be able to do that, in my opinion. Since I'm going back squat, I'm going to pivot right into front squat. Front squat has a higher demand because of the front rack position, the elbows staying up. You need at least a minimum amount of upper back strength and torso stiffness to be able to maintain it. So that's why, generally speaking, for most people, front squat's more difficult than back squat. So for women, 135 front squat is good. To be able to do that, man, like I am aware that that person has gone over mechanics, and it's more likely than not fluky for them to be able to do that. So they have adequate strength, adequate lower body strength. After that, my next marker, I guess, what I consider great is once you can front squat body weight. So if you're 150 pounds, you can front squat body weight. Actually, I'm sorry, I have body weight here for reps. So once you're able to do body weight for reps, 150 pounds, you can do it for 3. Like, oh, okay, that's great. Again, that shows me that there has been training underway. That, like, okay, this person's training. They're regularly repeating this exercise and they have advanced over time for that. After that, the next milestone for me is once it's greater than 205. So it's almost like the milestone plates. Once you have the milestone plates for 205 and higher from there, I'm like, okay, it's really impressive, because more likely than not, if they have a little bit of athleticism to them, they're clean. It's probably kind of close to body weight because they can manage to catch that and then go right into a squat. So again, that already starts marking something that's impressive to me. Next, I got hex bar or straight bar deadlift. Some people call it trap bar, straight bar deadlift, whatever. Hex bar / trap bar sometimes can have higher handles, so it'd be similar, I guess, to a rack pull or something like that. But pushing your feet into the ground somewhat in a hinge position and standing up with weight. How about that? Just a version of a deadlift. Again, I don't really, it's not really much attention grabbing till at least it gets to 200 pounds. And you're like, all right, this person's doing something. That can still be like someone that's a novice, if they have pretty good genetics, or if they've never deadlifted before, but they're really lean. More likely than not, you'll see like a 200-pound pull, and that's the first thing that gets your eyes kind of open. After that, something greater than 275. It's like, all right, it's enough to notice. Again, it's less likely that someone completely untrained can straight bar or hex bar deadlift greater than 275 without genetic advantage or them already being lean from something else like a sport, something like that. And the last thing is greater than 315. I'm already impressed. There's women out there that can deadlift 500 pounds, but I think it's excellent when it's 315, because again, for women, not so much the lower body being the limiting factor, but I think of the upper back strength that's required, and on top of that, just hand grip. So if you have, generally speaking, women have smaller hands, so the amount of hand grip strength that's required on a smaller hand on a regular width bar. I think it's showing me that training had to occur for these things to happen at some point. The one thing that I think that's a body weight movement that stands out a lot as far as someone's fitness level, tells me a lot, is a chin up. Once a woman can do a dead hang, chin up, or pull up, one, I already think that's good. You can just hang because that's telling me you have enough percentage of lean mass in relation to your total body weight that you can pull yourself up. That's already fantastic. Once you can do more than 3, it's great. It's uncommon. Even fit women, marathoners, triathletes and stuff like that, whatever you consider fit, it's still uncommon for women to generally to rattle off pull-ups, especially if it's dead hang, chin or pull-up. Doesn't matter to me as far as a hand grip, but if you can lay there with hang with your arms straight and pull yourself above the bar more than 3 times, that's already great. And then more than 5 times is excellent. Anything beyond that is just like you have a lot of lean mass. More likely than not, if you can do more than 5 chin-ups, you're, if I were to not even thinking about it, you're probably less than 17, maybe 17% body fat, maybe 15% body fat, even without I don't even have to think much about it. That's where I would probably guess your body fat percentage to be at from there. And last thing, lesser considered, is strict overhead press. Stand there without bending your knees, squeeze your ass, press the barbell overhead. 65 pounds for reps. It's good. Great is 75 pounds for reps. Don't even have an amount, just something that's repeatable. You do 75 pounds for 4 to 6 reps. That's great. That's uncommon to me, with especially all the union legs. And then 85 pounds for reps. It's more narrow margins with strict overhead press because of the higher demand that's required of the movement. It's a smaller muscle group. You're using less. On a bench press, you're sitting back on a bench, so you're kind of anchored in. This is just using whatever you have underneath, which is what we just talked about as far as your lats, your round boys and whatnot, to stabilize and press the bar overhead. It's impressive. You can do 85 reps, anything, 85 pounds for reps. Anything greater than that is just that's awesome. I just categorize it in the bucket. That's awesome. All right. That's it for women. I'll do men's next.